Hello, welcome to another stream. Today, I'm going back to acrylics. It's been almost a year. It has been almost a year since I have used acrylics, and I've been wanting to do this painting, for a year, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to just get it done while in the studio today, and everybody can hang out and keep me company. So welcome. We're going to be painting an eagle in acrylic on an old slate shingle, an old slate tile. And it looks like everything is good to go. Hello, George Pencil Art. Hello to Art of Joseph Fincham and Rob Younts. Glad that you all are here today. And anybody else that is here with us but not chatting, hello. If you want to join in the live chat, just click that subscribe button and we will get you squared away as soon as possible. Thank you, Rob. That this right here is my I just did this. This was actually for patrons. Patrons had this month. And this is in watercolor. Used my Daniel Smith watercolors on this. And of course, this right now is in an archival sleeve. I need to get a mat for it, but then this one will end up being for sale. And right now, there are limited edition prints of this available. And you can choose the size that you want. And the link's in the description below, of course. And you can choose the size that you would like to have your print in, whether you want it printed on canvas or paper, so you can have it like matted in a frame. But those are limited edition, so once they're gone, that's it. And but yeah, soon when we put all the stuff up on the website and get everything squared away, I have been working on that a little bit each week, trying to get that set. And once that is set, things like this will be on it for sale. So thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, Jacqueline Turret. All right, so today I'm going to get right to it. Let me I'm going to bring you down so we can see the desk too. So I've already transferred my eagle. And this is, like I said, it's an old slate tile. Let me see if I can zoom that out for you for just a second. You'll be able to actually see. So it's an old slate. This was a slate shingle from an old slate roof. Now this line I won't be able to get rid of. Excuse me. Because this was where the slate that was above it would have sat. And, for however many years this was on a roof, this was actually on an old roof. I've got quite a few. Lou salvaged a bunch of slate tiles for me a few years back. They were taking down like an 1800s house here in town, and he went and he got me a ton of slates. So I just thought, I have to make, this is actually going to be a gift for someone special to us. And I'm using my Simply Simmons brushes today. I have a link to these in the description. I haven't used these before, so this is the set. It comes with a size 4 round, number 16 round, and the flats, or the brights, are a 4, an 8, and a 16. So those are the brushes that you get in the set. I thought it was pretty, I thought there were some pretty good sizes. I think it'll be more than adequate for this. So yeah, I'm going to be testing those out today. If I need a liner, I just grab 2 liners that I have. This is a 1 and a 3. I couldn't link these below because I couldn't find them. These used to be, I got these here locally at AC Moore before AC Moore went out of business and became Michaels. I don't know if Michaels carries that Premier line or not, but anyhow, that's where I got them from. So we have raw umber. I'm just going to lay the colors out on my palette. I forgot to grab, I've got to grab it. I have to grab it because I can't get the tubes open if I don't. This handy little tool, which I have not linked in the description because I forgot about it, is made by Golden. And of course I am using golden paints today. They are one of my favorites for acrylics. And literally you just take that, you see it has different sizes for different caps. I can open my watercolor paints with these. It's wonderful. And you just turn it and that's it. Easy to get them open, especially when my hands and stuff don't want to work right. So we have raw umber. Just using my Butcher Tray palette. I love this palette. That is linked below. Mine is the same size as the Art Alternatives, but I actually linked you out to a selection because they do come in different sizes. And then if this is something that you're interested in, you can get a size that's right for you. I have burnt sienna. And here it goes. I used, if you remember, the problem I had with when I was doing like the watercolor, the gouache. It was my gouache, which I still haven't finished that painting. I still have to do that. It is like, I have 2 paintings on my easel that are just taunting me. Like, are you ever going to finish us? Because I want to. They're ones I really want to get finished. And it's just finding the time. So, I have raw sienna. So, burnt sienna and raw sienna. So, this photo that I am painting today is a photo that I am doing by permission from Ronnie Clark. And I do have, otherwise known to our family as Uncle Ron. There's a link to his Instagram in the description below. And if you want to see, he's in the area of Florida, in the Villages. And this is yellow ochre. He's in the Villages and he gets out. Lou and I have got to get down and see him because I just want to see this area in person. The most beautiful like sunrises, and he's there at sunrise like every day. Every day I get to see on Facebook like this morning sunrise. I'm like, I just can't do it. I try so hard. Soon I'll be able to see the sunrise because, you know, we've already had our right now, it's like, what's that? The autumnal equinox, whatever. Anyways, where the days are like about as much daylight as darkness. So, but soon we're going to be switching the other way. It's already darker. Like I have lights on in the studio and it's getting dark fast. Winter's coming. So I also have cerulean blue, but I'm not going to put this out yet because actually maybe I just will. The reason I have the blue is because there are a few areas in the painting where it's a really cool undertone in the bird's feathers that kind of match the sky. And while I'm not going to be painting the sky, I really did like the look. So I'm going to probably be using that to tint. I won't need much of it at all. I usually end up with a lot more paint than I actually needed, but we will see. And I also have some zinc white. I have some zinc white, so like a mixing white, in case I need to lighten up a few colors in a way that I don't want to do with the Titan Buff, which is the other color that I forgot to just mention. Okay, so we have raw umber, burnt sienna, raw sienna, yellow ochre, cad yellow, Titan Buff. I've got some cerulean blue. I also have zinc white, and I do have a Mars black just in case, but I don't think I'm gonna need to darken up any more. It's possible, but for my darkest shadows, which is gonna be like here under his wing, but I think this might be plenty dark enough. I don't know. I'm gonna put a little bit just in case. I won't need much. So just a little bit of Mars black, probably way more than I would need. So yeah, I did link to these palettes. There are lots of different sizes. I like, mine is a 7 by 10.5. And it's just perfect. You guys have seen me use this. I have a couple of these this size, and you've seen me use it for, I'll use it for watercolor. I'll use it for like inks, all kinds of things. Okay, and even when I use it with watercolors, like it sits out. The one reason I like the art alternatives, pretty sure this one's the art alternatives. It looks the same, like it's kind of tapered. The edges here have a taper to them, and it kind of sits. There's like a rim around that edge. So if I put a little bit of that color in, and it doesn't like, I don't know, even liquid watercolors, I use it in this, and that's what I actually got it for to start with. Sarah Cray over at Let's Make Art, which is the watercolor art subscription box. I think they also have journaling in a kid's box, but regardless, that's who introduced me to these to start with, and I enjoy them. Okay, so today, just gonna, like, and then I've got my long handled, and you see, like, this is, if I can get that in there, yeah, you can, it's like up here by my face, it's down here by the desk, and hopefully I'm not gonna poke myself. We will see. All right. Well, wait a minute, Tara. You said it's acting the goat. I think we have different meanings because here in the US we say the goat. It's like the greatest of all time. I think Joseph has that. I think Joseph's internet is the goat now. What do you have for speeds? Like some ridiculously fast speed. I'm gonna start with the tree trunk, and I transferred this with the low Cornell, the white, which is actually right up here. I left it taped, so I actually took my reference photo that I printed, which was similar to this. It was just a bit bigger. I left that printed, and I just taped attached to the board, and I just rolled it up so that if I need to come back through and add, once I block this in, add more lines, then I can. Okay, so I'm starting just with the, actually I'm going to start on the trunk. Still going to start with the number 16. I'm going to use the round. I've been using rounds so much because of the watercolor and the water soluble media that you may see me just be grabbing these out of habit, but I do think that like the brights are going to really lend themselves to doing some of the work in the trunk, so I'll probably go there very soon. Excuse me. Okay, I'm almost seeing like a little bit of a green tint in this. It's like the stump of a tree, and this eagle has just landed on it. Some of these images, you guys, after the stream, I really do encourage you, go check him out on Instagram. His link is in the description. Amazing images of wildlife. Like, I fear for his life sometimes. I'm like, how is he getting that picture? He is way too close to that alligator. He's got some gator pictures that are just like, what are you thinking? Don't go there. Don't go there. Yeah. My anxiety would probably be through the roof if he'd be like, look, right there, there's a gator 5 feet from us. I'd be like, we're way too close. We are way too close. They move way too fast. Okay, and I gotta tell you, first thing, pulling out this acrylic paint, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so thick. Because, of course, I do like to paint in heavy body paints. Yeah. It's gonna be fun, folks. It's been a while. Start blocking some of this in. I love eagles. We have some that fly here near the house. I have pictures. I haven't shared them. I'll have to share those. I have my reference photos like right here. I tried to keep it near you guys. Yes, isn't it, Jacqueline? See that? Yeah, they do. It's really dark. I wish, are you in the same time zone that I am, Jacqueline? Are you in Eastern time or are you Atlantic time? Is this like 4 o'clock your time? I wish they would move us to Atlantic time because we protrude so far east beyond the regular rest of the east coast of the US that I wish they would just put us in Atlantic time. Oh, can you guys hear Tuca? He's down there screeching. Just carrying on. Their talons, I love. There's just something about birds' feet. I love them. Just to me, they just look like they could be dinosaurs. I'm actually taking a little leave like watercolor here because I'm actually doing some negative painting, which this is not paint by number. And normally in acrylic, I would never paint this way. So it's funny to see how after almost a year of not painting with acrylics, how much like the watercolor and working in water soluble medium is going to impact the way that I paint, because normally I would just say block it all in with my light color, come back on with some darker colors, and this is very thin. I need to, like, it's all up there in my brush. Why isn't it flowing forward? Because it's thick. You are in Atlantic time. Yeah, see, we should so be in Atlantic time. Maine is we're so close to you. And we should definitely be in Atlantic time. For sure. I think I'm going to actually, I know why I'm avoiding certain areas, and it has to do with the way that I put this in some of the lines that I put on my paper, and I just know that I want those to be dark. So I think I'm actually going to take a little bit of my darker value, and I am going to grab some of that Mars Black. So just this raw umber. Thin that down a little bit. It's one of the reasons I like heavy body paints. I find that like I can get those nice thick brush strokes if I want them, or I can just add a little bit of water and thin that and get that more of like a soft body paint, and I like that. But I don't have to keep all soft body and heavy body paints in the studio, because clearly I work in so many different mediums that my fear would be that they would like all go bad. Like, this looks like I'm a little high here, which is okay, we can adjust. Yeah, I think this is going to help much better. Oh, okay, if you can't see the live chat today, Jacqueline, if you look, there should be a spot that you can click right below. Let me just see, because I have mine up. Yep, so if you look right below the video here, right below, it's going to say like, everybody hit that thumbs up, share, and then it should say live chat. And if you click on live chat, you should be with us. Okay. And if it's not showing it to you, just try to refresh. Just try to refresh your window, and that might help as well. And I'm not worried about being too exact. This does not have to be exact to my reference, but I am certainly going off of my reference. Got it. Excellent. Good. And now by doing this, now when I come back with that Titan buff, some of that's going to mix in with this, and it's going to kind of blend down and pull through on its own. And I think I'm going to like that much better. I was trying to see his... And it's definitely harder with acrylic paint than with, say, the watercolor paint when working with a round, because you're like, oh, I do this and hopefully I get my, that nice fine point. But the paint doesn't flow like it does for a watercolor. That's for sure. And when you fill that brush up with all that acrylic paint, it really, fluffs out the belly of the brush because it's full of so much paint. Like, that's so much thinner now. I just have a towel right off the side here to drink. Hey, DF Digger, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. DF Digger, if you guys have not, if anybody is into, like, I think he's our like local treasure hunter. I say treasure hunter. He does metal detecting, and he actually, the river, which is like right here near my house, when the river's low and stuff, he can actually go in, and he has found some amazing things, and he shares that on his YouTube channel, and you even get a little glimpse of my hometown here in Dover, Foxcroft, Maine. So yeah, if anybody's into that kind of stuff, check out DF Digger's channel. He has some really neat finds. So I've just switched to the number 4 bright, just because I want more of I think I want some of these strokes to show. Oh, you're welcome. I keep telling Lou that I'm like, you need to message him. Lou loves that. He has done detecting for years and years. And I'm like, you should message him. You should go on one of his little hunts. Of course, you're probably about done for the season. I imagine that water's going to start getting pretty cold. Pretty soon you won't be able to get in it. But yeah, we have a few treasures here at the house that he's found over the years. Nothing like some of the stuff that you have found locally, though. That is like amazing stuff. You said I'm only on season 3. It has been going on for a while, hasn't it? But you know what? She was such a. I don't know, because I'm obviously I'm not. Not from the UK, but from our perception, and it just seems like she was a very, very well liked monarch. And there is our stump starting to block in. We have a few eagles. So that's what I started telling you guys. I was out in the kayak. I was over at Brands Mill. DF Digger know right where I'm talking about. You did the river. River was done. Done a few days ago. Yeah. Telling him, because last season I was trying to encourage him to like reach out to you, because I know he would love it. He has the equipment to do so, and the I'm just double checking my reference, guys. I was up at Brands Mill with my kayak and have pictures of the female who was like sitting on her tree. There's this one dead tree on this little tiny island, and Brands Mill is a pond near here, for those who don't know. And she was just perched up there, and she had her eye on me, and she was squawking, and I know they have a big nest on another island that's right near there, because I've seen both. Lou and I were out on the boat one weekend, and the male swooped in and flew right over us, and like you just saw the whole shadow like come over us on the boat, and I was like, I could not get my camera fast enough. He just was like, and he was low. I was like, we're not messing with anything, I swear. We're just trying to hang out over here. Okay. Really? Yeah. That you can see the island from where the launch is over at Brands Mill. Um, where the boat launch is, you can see like the island where they're at. But of course, you can't really see. You can't see in because they're like right in the center. They're in the center of all the stuff that they put their nest in. This in a big pine, and I was like, "Hey, I've got some big pines. They could just nest in my backyard. I would love it." I just imagine seeing them flying in and out. All right, I need to mix up. I didn't grab an orange. I might like. I'm just looking at his beak, and I was hoping I was going to be able to use these, but I'm not. I'm not liking what I'm getting this far. I'm using this ridiculously small brush, just because I know it's what I'm going to be painting with. Yeah, I think I want something that's a little bit more. That might work. Really? Well, I would imagine in February when all the deciduous trees have lost their leaves, and it'd be a lot easier to see them. But although if they like to nest in pines, those aren't going to lose their leaves. Ugh. And it's on your end, right? Nobody else is buffering, right? It doesn't look like anybody else would be buffering. I would imagine that it's on Tara's end. Okay. Really? It's I stop every time I see one fly overhead. I mean, they live right here, and still, every time I see one fly overhead, I just like stop and I'm in awe. I'm looking at this and I'm like, it doesn't look like. I'm just checking my reference. I'm like, I see toes here, I see toes there, but I'm not seeing 3, 4, and 5 is there. Okay. I see. As soon as oh, I know what I did. I know what it is. I'm thinking this is, but this is just part of the stump. It's hard, and I put these on. I was like, oh, I bet you I have put way too many. Yeah, I don't care for that color at all. Yeah. Hello, Cat's Art Picks. Thanks for joining us. I'm like, I really don't want to. My paint, my acrylic paint. I'm not at my easel. I was like, oh, am I gonna do this at the easel? I was like, no, I'm not. I'm not moving all the cameras. I'm not gonna move all the cameras to set them up over there. But I thought, oh, could just paint at the desk. And then, yeah, I'm not liking that color at all. I'm not liking it at all. That is the wonderful thing about acrylic, though. I can just wipe it off instead of trying to pull it back off watercolor paper. That's not the easiest thing. Okay, I'm gonna grab it. Just a second. Okay, so adding to our colors, I'm not sure which one I'm gonna want to get that orange. I'm thinking possibly an alizarin crimson. Transparent red oxide, iron oxide might give me what I want. I did grab a naphtol crimson just in case, but I don't think that's really what I'm gonna want. Alright, so the transparent red iron oxide, I'm going to just pop some of that. Can you guys even see that? I'm going to pop that right there. Way more than I need. Way more than I need. But that's okay. Thank you, Rob. That is very true. Like, it takes a minute. I saw it pop up on my feed. It takes a minute for it to pop up over on my... There we go. It does. Every little bit helps. And you click that like button and it tells YouTube, hey, maybe you should show this to some more people. And I appreciate that. Okay. That's looking a little bit better. Yeah, we're going to go with the red iron oxide. Because it's like, it's not really like their feet are, they're, you know, like a yellow color, sure, but it also is more, has more of like an orange tone to that. Not quite mustard. Yeah, this is much better than that. Okay, and I'm going to need to lighten a little bit of that up also. So just going to mix up a lighter value. Because I don't think I'm going to need a whole lot. I thought I had regular orange. Like a cad orange or something like that. It has been forever. It's been almost a year. Almost a year. I did the commission in... Oh, thank you. I did the commission in... Finished that up in November. It was November I finished that. Of the couple. Which was their engagement photo. And then I did Surfing Santa, which Surfing Santa still is not done. I do need to finish him though, because that was fun. Alright. So I love their toes as they sit there. And again, I'm just trying to block this in. I'll come back for details. It's like if I can just get it blocked in there. It's like they actually have toes. Like they actually have a pad right here and then their talon. They make me think of dinosaurs. Like the way you look, if you look at their skin and, of course having Tuca, I have a sun conure, and handling him, it's like they just look, it almost looks reptilian, like the way that they're just mixing up a darker value there with a little bit of that raw umber as I get back into what's going to be shadow here going towards his leg. But it's almost like reptilian. Like it's very dry. Their skin's very dry. Their tongues are dry. Their tongues are not wet. It's very unique, very different feeling. If you ever get licked by a bird. Because, they test everything. Everything's going to be tested with their... Everything has to be tested out with their tongue or like their beak. A lot of people think, oh, they're going to bite me. And it's not that they're going to bite you. It's just that they're trying to test you out as a perch. And I have my little... I'm just misting this because, again, everything in the studio dries so fast here. So you may see me just hit my palette with a fine mist from time to time, and that's why. I have my little... that's darker. I have like a little humidifier on that I put on, but I didn't turn it on early enough. I was like, oh, I should have turned that on earlier today. I didn't. Now, if I want to brighten this, when I come back, if I want to brighten this up, I'll probably use, I gotta tell you, I'll probably use some zinc white. This is definitely a lot more difficult painting with the acrylics versus flat, rather, versus painting with it on the easel. This is very different and it feels weird. That's not going to quite look right yet, and that's okay. That's actually more part of the stuff. All right, I need to get his talons in so I can have that established. And I'll probably have to paint back over them, but that's not a problem. I just need to see where they are because then I have that separation. And they are quite curved like that. Tuco, he needs to get his trimmed. If he can't be on me right now. Like, if he's going to be on me, I have to be wearing something really thick. Otherwise, he'll land, like, if he was on my arm, just from him walking around on my arm, like, I'll have the little tiny cuts on my skin because his talons are so sharp. So I see, like, a creature like this, and I just think, there's no way. There's a reason why falconers wear big old leather glove that you see the falcon land on. That'd be interesting. Does anybody else have birds here? Nice. Really? That is good. And did they have them outside? Because I have a feeling that the family member that I'm making this for wanted a sign. So this will when I'm done, and I'll have to post a picture of it when I'm done. When I'm done, it'll actually say Clark up here. And they wanted... This is the surprise, so hopefully they're not watching. But if they are, well, surprise! Because the person it's for is going to know in a second that it's for them. Because they love eagles. Yeah, outdoors. Oh, excellent. See, and you clear coated them. What did you clear coat them with? What did you put on them? I was having a discussion about what to put over this was somebody else. So I'm really curious for if they lasted 15 years without needing to be, and just now needing to be touched up. I'm curious as to what you clear coated them with. I have some Camar acrylic varnish. I also have some the crystal clear. I was thinking about using the crystal clear, which is also by Krylon, makes that. And that says it's also moisture resistant. So that's why I was thinking, because if it was going to be, with outdoors, that might be beneficial. Rob has 2 dogs, 2 cats. See, wait a minute. But the children don't live with you, but the animals still do? We just have Tuca in blue. We have 2 in blue. Tuca, because of course, huge hockey fan. And the Bruins goalie, Tuca Rask. So 2 U's, 2 K's. Anybody that's from New England right now is knowing exactly what I'm talking about. So anyhow, yeah, Tuca. I just thought Tuca was a great name for a son. Conyer sounded like a parrot's name, so we name him Tuca, but we call him 2. And then there's Blue, he was a blue parakeet, little budgie, and we were just calling him Blue because he was blue, and then we could not think of a better name, and Blue stuck. So be careful what you call him while you're trying to think of a name, because it might just stick. So now I have 2 in blue. Oh. It's been a long time. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. So if it was in a spray can, yeah, okay. Most likely then, Krylon, I don't think that I'm going to have any issues with, I don't think that they will have any issues with it being the, if I use Krylon. And I'm really, I don't know why I'm using such a small brush. I really need to be using a bigger brush. I'm just blending some colors to finish working on this log. And actually, I did say that a couple spots looked like they had a little bit of green. Actually, yeah, that's going to be decent. Yep. That's what I want. You know how, if something gets, like algae or something like that, like the stumps when they get old and they wet? Yeah. Oh, kids moved out, pets stayed. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. I'd be like, maybe you should take that with you. Unless, of course, you love the pets, and then, in which case, carry on, carry on. Now I'm just going to throw a little bit of this green in here. I'm just going to slowly build up my values and yeah, this is just way too small. It's way too small of a brush. Fine for some of the fine details, and I will need it as I get up into his feathers, and we're going to get that. I think we'll make some progress really quickly. In fact, I'm going to put in some of those. I'm going back to the number 16 round. So far I do like these brushes. And I think some of this I actually want to warm up just a little bit. And I can't believe that this mixing hasn't spread further. It's usually one of the hardest things. I'll end up starting to mix. You guys have seen my palettes. It's this mixing zone goes huge. Oh, it's been raining here, George. It's been raining here for a while. All right. Some more light. And this is where I was saying I will end up painting over those talons again because I'm going to want them on top and I'm going to want them to be nice and crisp. So, and that one actually doesn't go all the way down. It like, it's like stuck into that log. So it just, yeah, I'll have to readjust some of that. And this one, you don't actually see on this, you see the talon, but you don't actually see the, I want to say finger, but toe, whatever. The appendage, the digit, I don't even know what they would, how they would refer to that. Anyhow, you don't see that. Because it's like this part of the stump is pushed up and he's kind of like down around, like he's like around it. Okay. I'm going to keep my lines going very, very much the direction that the stump is going in, thinking like the wood grain. That is the one link to rule them all, Tara. Has anybody been watching that as I make reference to Lord of the Rings? Has anybody been watching the new series? I have. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. I'm kind of liking it. I mean, just taking it for what it is. You know, not like in comparison to any past movie made or anything like that. But we have been enjoying it. We've been watching it. Yeah, you missed the very beginning, Core. Cat's Art Picks. This is actually a slate. It is an old roof tile. It's an old shingle from like an 1800 house. A house that was built in the 1800s. Lou had salvaged a lot of slate tiles for me. There was a house from the 1800s that they took down here in town, and there were a bunch of slates, and he was able to get me a whole bunch of them. So I've got quite a few slates. So it may be something that if people enjoy, it may be something that I paint on more or again in the future. So I'm shifting the direction that I'm applying this now because this is like the top surface of the stump. So it actually comes much further forward than this is showing. I think I've mixed up a couple lines in the beginning. Yeah. Definitely. Okay. Alright, I'm going to let some of this dry for a little bit. And while that's drying, because I forgot to bring my hairdryer over here, I have my heat tool, but I'm not going to use my heat tool because when I use my hair dryer, I use my hair dryer at the easel, and I use my heat tool over here at the desk. And if you're wondering what's the difference, right? Hair dryer or heat tool. Heat tool is hot. It's really hot. My hair dryer that is actually at the easel, the purple one you guys have seen me use time and again, that is I can set that to cold. And I had a question about that. Teresa asked a question about that when I shared, if you saw my community post, I was sharing the old card that I did, and in that video, it was very quick time lapse. And in that video, you see me use a hairdryer, and you guys have seen me use a hairdryer many times. And she had asked that, she had heard that it wasn't good to use heat on your acrylic, and it could cause problems with adhesion. And while I've never had problems with adhesion, I wasn't going to, and she asked me if that was true, and I wasn't going to reply to her and answer her question without making sure that what I believed to be true was actually the facts. And so I went to Golden, because I paint with Golden. And so I went to Golden and checked with them and actually shared. And if anybody sees that video, I actually linked right to it so that others could find out for themselves. Yeah, Golden does not advise heat. In fact, Golden does not advise a high rate of airflow on the surface, because in order for it to dry properly, it'll form a skin, but it you don't want it to form that prematurely. Basically, that was the basic gist of it. And so anyhow, yeah, I forgot to bring my hairdryer over, was the point of where I was going with this. And so you're going to see me kind of bounce around, because then I can let it dry. But this slate is just going to absorb the water right out of the acrylics. It's going to dry really quick anyways. And everything in the studio is drying quick. And I'm not painting super thick either. So there's also that. And yeah, seeing this, you're definitely going to see me darken this raw umber up. We're just going to block in a big part of our eagle, which should start to make some magic happen. Start to see him come together here. Hello, Starving Artist Collective. Thanks for joining us. We missed you. Nobody brought breakfast in. George hasn't shared any snacks yet. I mean, it's a good thing you're here. It is morning for you, so good morning. It is evening for us. Late afternoon. Okay, now I'm like trying to follow. You see all these lines. I knew I was going to do it to myself. I was like, I'm going to put down so many lines. I am not going to remember what's what goes where. I'm going to actually bring this right. Let me get this a little bigger for you. Boom. How's that? I disappeared for a minute, but it will actually help you see a little bit better what we're doing. Raw umber, one of your favorite colors. It is a nice, rich brown. And again, you're kind of going to see me do a little bit of like negative painting. And the only reason for that is that I've got some guidelines here that are going to kind of help me as we go. And I was hoping this would make it go faster. Famous last words. I was hoping though, because I would love to get this done or almost done in the time that we have together today. gosh, it has definitely been a while. Oh, the mine have been, they're all reclaimed. Um, there was a house taken down here in town. This is what I was saying. There was a house taken down in town that had a slate roof, and Lou was able to get some of these for me. I've got a bunch. I have a bunch of them stored. So yeah, if you ever need a slate to paint on, send me a message. You're local. But I do have a bunch because of that. He was able to salvage quite a few and bring them home for me. So mine actually were reclaimed from an old house here in town that they were going to tear down, or that they did tear down. I know. Right? Oh my gosh. I wasn't even thinking, it's like going, oh my gosh, Joseph, you're correct. Like, I wasn't even thinking that it's like right at the, when you see it's so long. But I was like, I don't have short handled brushes because I never paint flat. I never paint flat. I just had to like put that up for everybody, even those watching the replay, to enjoy. Oh, yeah. It is definitely it is definitely a long brush, and sorry if it's a little too in your face. That's hilarious. Really? Oh, you find in the well, I mean, I guess if it's a shame because people have just thrown stuff in there. Well, how much have you, wouldn't that have been something if you were like weighing all the trash? Because I know you've removed a lot of debris from the local area here. You just imagine like if you weighed that since the beginning of when you started doing it, like how much you have actually removed from some of the local waterways. Because I know you don't leave it; you will always take it and take it with you. Which sadly, if only everybody did that. But then, what treasures would you find? Okay, I gave myself a guide. At least I thought I did. And now I'm going, well, I can't see. It's going to be. Yes. Yes, starving. I'm actually painting on a slate today. I think that's what I was supposed to do. I think that's where I was going with that. I'm just making sure that I'm always staying in the direction that I know this bird's feathers would be going. Because at the very least, if I do leave brush strokes, they're just going to look like feathers. Now this eagle has some really dark spots. And it's like right where his keel bone would be dark. And it goes in that area. well over 100 pounds of trash. Wow. 50 pounds of lead. I would imagine from like weights from people fishing. Is that where the leads come from? All right, and I'm going to definitely need to darken some of this up for sure. So I'm definitely going to be using that Mars Black and more of that Umber. You know that I have thought about doing that, Cat's Art Picks, but I have not done that yet. Joseph. Can I just say same? Same. Oh, I definitely don't drink it any less. All right. I'm debating as to how I want to do this. I really think I should do the feathers below and work my way up so that they stay like stacked on top of each other. These right here that I'm doing are those are his flight feathers. Those are the fingers. If you ever see an eagle, here's another picture. This was also taken by his uncle. These right here, that's these right here. So those are the long ones that kind of stick down. At one point in time, Jacqueline, it was acrylic. Absolutely. Acrylic was the medium I preferred to paint in. And now I can't necessarily say that that is true anymore. I love water-soluble mediums. Love watercolor. And the reason that I went to watercolor and sought that out in the first place was because I was so tight with my acrylic painting. Like everything was like wanted it so realistic, and I actually just felt that it wasn't, I don't know, it could have been better. And it could have been better if I would have just like loosened up and tried not to be so realistic, if you would. Like even right now, I know, like I'm looking at some of this, I'm like, you're spending too much time on this right now because you need to come back. There's multiple layers that are going to come into play here. I need to just keep focusing on block it in. Get those values where I need them. So yeah, water soluble media is probably my favorite right now. So there's not a specific medium, like anything that I can do, whether it be the pigment powders or the watercolors, or I've enjoyed, well, you guys haven't seen me use them, but watercolor pencils. I've used those quite a bit. You guys actually haven't really seen me do pencil work, which is something I plan on changing. That's going to be coming. We'll be doing some pencil work. Oh, Englishy, yeah, that I like that as well. Nope, I did not treat it first. Do some, I don't know, but the acrylic, it just absorbs right into this. And well, we could ask DF Digger. He said he has done his slates. Have you ever treated it with something before you painted it? I did not. I just went in all willy-nilly and was like, I am going to paint this thing. I've never had a problem before. And so painting on slates. So, George, like I was saying, this came from an old roof, and I think it's kind of Mainers are pretty resourceful group of folks here. I have seen paintings on slates. We are, of course, the Pine Tree State. We have a lot of lumber. Um, there's a lot of like lumber mills around here, so you get these great big saw blades. And I've seen people paint on the saw blades. I've seen some gorgeous paintings on some saw blades. Cleaned it with soap and water and dried it well. Yep, that's what I did. Okay, great. See? Yep, that's exactly what I did. So I see a lot of painting on slate here. Now, is that just because, like myself, I got this slate because an old house was taken down, and I happen to be fortunate enough to get my hands on some of the old shingles. It is... I'm just trying to look at my reference. I apologize. That's why I'm distracted. But it's pretty common practice to see them up here, or see people painting on them, if you would. Oh, see, and Monson is not far from us. So yeah, it's just a material that's readily available here, and I think a lot of people enjoy making some artwork on it. It's way out here. There they are. I'm like, I know I lined these guys in here. I want to get these feathers in here at the back. And again, these that you just saw me paint in would be the equivalent of these, just on the other side. Yeah, that's... I really like... I like it. I like the look. I like the look of it. I'm just darkening a few of these up. Which again, I don't know why. Because I will have to come back through and adjust. I need to paint the tail feathers underneath. And I will say though, it is hard. Like when you want to do, like I just wanted to pull a nice straight line down there, and it's hard because with the slate they're not smooth. So you're gonna have like, there are bumps, and like you see the line. There's a line right here, and that's because the slate has a ridge there. So yeah, that could be very true, Rob. That could be very true. All right, and see a lot of these values in here I think need to be this darker value that I mixed up, but that's all right. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. All right, I want to block in some of these lighter feathers down here. No, I have not used any of the aluminum panels. Jerry's. I have to reach out to Jerry's. I just received a package from Jerry's, which what I was planning on showing you guys today, and the package arrived with a big old, I'd have to say that the gentleman must have had a good size 11, at least a size 11 boot on. when he stepped on the top of the box, there's like a heel indent. There's like a heel indent. I'm like talking to you guys and you can't see me. Like, oh, yeah. I am like, I'm showing you guys. It's like, there's a heel indent in, anyhow. Yep, right in the box. I was like, no. Really? Not the box. So I've got to contact them because the contents that were inside, there is some damage, and I reached out to the company because I'm like, only part of it was damaged. So I reached out to the company to see, hey, this was damaged when I received it. Can I just get those 2 pieces sent to me? I hate to send this back. I hate to keep it damaged, and I hate to send it back to see other stuff that's inside that end up wasted because there's nothing wrong with that, and yeah, so. These feathers will need to get darkened up. No. No. It is not. But I don't think I've ever shared one here before. And I don't have it to be able to say, yeah, see, it's this one. Now I'm shifting the direction. I'm working, so there's a line on this feather and off of that. So I'm making sure my strokes are going towards that line. Because where this darker line is going to end up being, that's that center of the feather, and all it feathers out from there. Sorry. And I do apologize for the brushes in the camera, or the handles in the camera. I chose this because this is actually going to be a gift for someone. I know it is going to be outside, so a slate will hold up to the weather. And where wood, I would have to really treat that wood, and a wood is going to degrade a lot faster over time than this slate will. So I chose to do it on a slate. This value is really too light for this. Yeah, this will definitely last for a very, very long time. And it just, that paint gets pulled right in there. I'm just going to mix up a few darker values. Because I actually would like this to be a little warmer. So I'm grabbing a little bit of yellow ochre also. Okay, that's a bit better. I just know that there's no sense in me blocking these in this value that is not going to be right. That's going to be better. That's going to be much better. There's so much paint in this. I don't know why I don't just mix with a palette knife. It would keep it out. I end up getting the palette knife in the paint anyways. I'll do that often. I'm not pressing hard on my bristles, just enough to get the paint to come out of the belly of the brush. Yeah. Who was the artist? You tell him it was you. That's funny. You wonder why are they so shocked? They shouldn't be shocked. That is like, that's not dark. That should have been lighter. I was gonna do his tail and his head more white, but it just didn't. It wasn't white in the actual reference, and I was like, I don't think so. And actually, there's a feather. Again, everything on this palette dries so quickly. There we go. Out here, there's even a tail feather that flips out this way that almost has a greenish value in it, which, again, because I didn't paint the sky, do I need to maintain? But I did have the green here, so having the green on that feather that is like that as well, I think I just want to keep it that way. And that's not green. And it's not even green enough, and it's not dark enough compared to what the actual's going to be. And I'm just going to leave a really thin line just to remind myself that's where it's dark. There's my separation of my feathers right there. Mm-hmm. I always watch on my TV, Jacqueline. Like, I'll watch on my TV. I stream all the time. I'm like, some of these poor artists that I watch are like, um, I'm putting them up on the big screen. They'd probably be like, I'd be like, don't put me up on the big screen. But yeah, they'd probably be the same way. Let's go over those other darker feathers. And then when I spray this, I know it's just going to make all of it just come to life. And I'll definitely make sure I share a image of this. This will be done. Will be done by this weekend, for sure. Because I don't have more time to give it. I don't think it would take longer than that, anyways. I see that you have another question, Starving Artist Collective. I will look at that in just a second. The question was, why would you need to choose a paint medium that lasts a very long time too, especially outdoors? Does acrylic cut it? What medium would hold up as long as the slate? Oh, what medium would hold up as long as the slate? I don't know. I mean, if it's archival, if this stays is UV, is protected from the sun, of course you're going to get more UV. It's going to be outside, so you're going to get more UV. It's going to degrade. It's just it's going to happen. But these are very common here, and you see people that have them out there for, well, DF Digger, what did you say? How many years before you had to touch it up? At least 50, I think you said 15. And this is just not wanting to flow. Okay, well, I'm going to come back over it anyway. Anyhow, so yeah, they're just very common up here. A lot of people have slate signs like for their house and stuff, which is actually what this is for. I'm making it for someone, and that's exactly how it's wanted. So I'm, the colors that I've chosen are colors that will be very light fast. And yeah, 15 years. Okay, so see, Starving Artist Collective, DF Digger had shared with us earlier, I think it was before you came on and said good morning, that he has done these and lasted 15 years before he had to start touching it up. So they're very common practice up here. A lot of people have them. So yeah, I'm not really worried as far as its longevity. I don't think that they're going to have a problem. Keep it protected. I'll put something when I spray it over top of this. I will definitely spray it with something that adds a little extra UV protection. As far as the humidity, well, see, that's the other thing too that I was saying. Cat's Art Picks. I'm going to actually spray this with something that, when I put that over top, it's also going to be moisture resistant. So Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Yes, George. That was DF Digger said that he has varnished them or clear coated them. Um, with good success. So, okay. I'm actually going to switch brushes here. I'm going to go back to my small one because I'm going to put some lines. I'm going to put some dark lines on these feathers. I'll work my way up. Uh, yeah, the Krylon Clear Coat, exactly. I'm going to use the Crystal Clear because the Crystal Clear is also moisture resistant. So I'm going to use the Crystal Clear on it. Because I was looking at the camera varnish and because I have that and the Crystal Clear, and I thought as soon as I saw the moisture resistance on the Crystal Clear, then that's what I went with. Oh, did I miss a question? I see you telling her how to. Oh, when you do, I will be on it. Yeah, I have the like the Fire Sticks and the Roku's and the smart TVs and oh yeah. For the longest time, I kept seeing Lou was watching YouTube, and I'm like, "What are you watching? What are you doing?" Because he'd be watching his iPad. I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he'd say, "I'm watching YouTube." And I'm like, "Why are you watching YouTube on your iPad?" Mind you, he is sitting in the room where there's like a 70-inch television, and I'd be like, "Why are you watching YouTube on your iPad?" And he's like, "Cause I want to watch right now. It was something that that he found that he was interested in, whatever." I was like, "No, my question is not like why are you watching YouTube? Why are you watching YouTube on your iPad?" It's like that's my question. Like, why would you do that to yourself? And I showed him how to put it up on the big TV. Yeah, guys, now I'll walk into the room and there he'll be with his iPad, and he's watching something on the TV, got his Bose headset on, and he's watching something else on his iPad. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's a mess. All right, those are. I don't think it's quite. I don't. This one quite not. It's not the correct direction. I was kind of pulling them towards me, and they shouldn't go towards me. They should come this way. They should follow that feather. So. Yeah. Well, see, you know what I would do, Rob? What I used to do is I would be on before the days when I would mod. I would watch it on the on the TV, and I'd have it on my phone. It would be on my phone just so I could chat because I could pop it in my phone real fast with the chat, like texting. So I would have the chat on my phone, and then the whoa, the actual to watch the video on the TV. And sometimes I didn't have the live chat like showing on the TV. Ugh, I was worried. I was just talking about his eyes being angry because if he was doing all the editing. I can't believe you almost lost that though. That's scary. Been there, felt that panic. Um, anyhow, the last couple days, like my eyes have not been working right, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to stream. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see to paint this and get the details that I want. Again, I'm skipping around. I don't know why I'm like going up to that. I don't need that yet. It's like, well, but while I have it on my brush, Still, this is still just not dark enough. I'll get there. All right. I'm like, I think I'm just gonna block because I know it's gonna go faster. It's taking me longer trying to save time. It's taking me longer. So I'm back to the number 4 bright. And that should be all right. I loved the watercolor version. Star Artist Collector talking about just this mountain painting. Okay, so see, Rob, I'm glad you asked that question. I am so glad you asked that question. So, the signature on my artwork looks nothing like the signature if I was signing something official. They do not look alike. I don't need the whole world to have my actual signature. Like, if I'm going to sign something, I don't need that out there. Just in the whole, like, identity thing, right? Like, nope, I just didn't want that to be. So for a while, I just messed with my signature. How did I want it to look? I'm still not completely thrilled, but it's been my signature for a while now, so it actually had other elements to it, but I had seen other artists, and actually artists here on YouTube, and I was like, nope, not gonna keep that in there because somebody else has done it. I'm mixing up the color that will be for all the lighter top feathers. So yeah, I just kept messing with mine, and because I had a symbol in with mine, and I don't anymore. It's just something that I liked to do. But I don't, mine doesn't have the big elaborate, like the little, all the swirly whatever. It's not drastically, but it would not be the same. Nobody could ever try to sign something and say that was, me. And then it was like, did I want to have Angela Clark? Did I want to just have the A Clark? Did I want to just sign an Angela? Like, that was a whole thing. And it's, yeah, see, Joseph only uses his initials. Right? So, see, there you go. And there you go. That's, yeah. It's just going to be a matter of, what do you like? Like, if you sign right now, do you sign with Rob Younts? Do you sign Rob? Do you sign R Younts? Do you just sign RY? Or you just, I don't know, I'm trying to decide. Because that's it's a great question. All right, let's start getting some feathers in here. Right? Yeah, see, if I was going to sign like Ange or whatever, or just AC or, yeah, see, I put the year too with mine. Only because for me, I'll never remember when I painted something. And so that's kind of a way for me to be like, oh, and I can kind of keep always monitoring and tracking my progress and improvement and how I think I'm doing. So I do like to put the year. I don't think that it's a problem. Doesn't matter if I painted it. You know, as far as like if people going, oh, well, you painted it how long ago? Does that matter? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I would decided like in the future, oh, I want to give somebody a gift or whatever. Um, I'm not worried because I painted it 2 years ago. Um, I don't think that. I don't know. That's just in my personal opinion. I don't think that the year is detrimental. You know, some people don't put it on there. Some people put it on the back. I've heard that before too. Um, if you're watching this on the replay, drop us a comment and let us know. Weigh in on this. How do you sign? How did you determine your signature? And do you include the date and stuff like that? Yeah. See? Exactly. Exactly. He sure did. Yeah. So it's just not okay. So maybe you want like RY, or maybe you want R Younce, or maybe you just want Rob, or maybe you just want Younce. There are plenty of people like I could just sign Clark. I mean, for those who don't realize that that is actually an A, you know, that hangs off the C in Clark, you know, they might not know. And then like my other thing is I've been going back and forth. Like, do I want my website, because I do have a Clark Fine Art is .org, and the reason Clark Fine Art is .org is because Christopher Clark, who is actually in San Francisco, has Christopher Clark Fine Art Gallery, or Christopher Clark Gallery, or something like that. Anyways, and instead of getting the name of his gallery, he just got Clark Fine Art, so it wasn't available. The .com. So I went with the .org, but I really don't care for the .org. I would rather have a .com, but so I thought, well, I could go with Angela Clark Fine Art.com. That's a mouthful. Or I could just go clarkfineart.com, which Clark is how I sign my work. So that might not be a hard stretch. I do own both already, because a little piece of advice for all of you out there. If you don't own your name and you're an artist and you think you might want a website in the future, buy your domain. It's not that expensive. They're like $12 a year, or somewhere in that vicinity. They're not really expensive. You can go get them. Google domains. You can get that, and you don't even have to start a website. You can just own your domain, which means nobody else can ever own it. And you, like myself, won't be sitting there wishing you could have your name because somebody else is using it, and then you can't. You got to go with something other than. So it's just my little piece of advice there. I am not being, like, I'm not following my lines. I'm kind of tapping this in, and I'm leaving some of these spaces, which is fine. I need to darken some of this up. I'll bring lighter parts in. See, oh, that is great. Yep, there you go. That is nothing. It doesn't even have to be your name. You absolutely could just sign in a symbol. There's nothing says you can't do that. Your signature can be whatever you want your signature to be. If you consistently sign that way, that's how people start to know that that is you as you're signing your art. There's a few spots that show up going in under here, kind of in this motion. That are darker. Okay. I made a ton of the color because I just wasn't getting the color I wanted, and then I just kept making more and more. All right. I'm not worried about my lines being perfect. Yes, I definitely recommend it because if you're gonna want something like you never know. You can go search is robyounce.com. I can't even get AngelaClark.com because well, Clark is such a common name. That'd be like, me trying to be a John Smith and thinking, oh, surely nobody's bought that domain yet. Um, yeah, I own quite a few. I own quite a few that I don't use yet, and I have them pointing ones that I think, oh, somebody might think this, and or something that's closely related to me, or because one day, if I get become this famous artist, then there are other things similar that I don't need other people purchasing up and using because it has my name. So I own a few, and I definitely recommend, even if you have if getting a website scares the crap out of you right now and I don't know how to build one or I don't know what to do, um, own your domain name. Like, or you might be saying, Angela, I can't afford to host a website every month right now. That's fine. Spend that $12 a year and own your name, because you can own your name and redirect it to a free website. So if you didn't know that, you can own your domain name and just redirect it to a free website. I wasn't always an artist. Well, I was always an artist, but I wasn't. I've done other things. Up here, there's a lot of. He has a lot of lighter. There's a lot of lighter values, but then there's some dark that's kind of daubed in. So what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of daubing as I go, and laying in some of this that's going to need the lighter colors around it. And that way there, once I put those lighter values on, hopefully I'll just be able to put them on top after and come out. Let's see. Oh, that is neat, Joseph. Scott in the shape of a key. That is cool. Yeah, they're so unique, right? That's let me just share that. They're so unique. Oh my gosh. Is it your seriously? Oh, not for long, Joseph. Now everybody see. It is for sale. Oh, that is hilarious. Somebody will own it. But yeah, I own many domains. I have multiple that I own, and I did finally like settle on like the my name with my full, my name with fine art, so that I could get the .com. So you guys may hear me like change that over where it's right now it's clarkfineart.org, because I just wanted to go with the Clark Fine Art. But as more and more people actually learn my first name, because being a mod, I generally tend to just be Clark because it says Clark Fine Art. And I actually thought about adding Angela into that on my YouTube channel as well, so that as we do grow. you know, it's just naturally gonna happen. We're starting to get a wing. We're starting to get a wing. And over here, this one's going to be much darker. Hey, there's another Clark. See, us Clarks, we're everywhere. You never know where we're gonna pop up. Oh, this paint is just drying so fast. So I'm gonna try to block in some more in at least so you guys can see his head, and then that way there. When I do finish it, and it will be finished, I will continue to work on this over the next few days. I will definitely share it in the art groups and such so that you can see it. Well, you could do that too. You could absolutely do that too. I think, I don't know, I guess it depends on how you view fine art. I think the season is changing. My lips like just so dry. Like, is not what you do, the type of work that you do, would be considered fine art. Like paintings and such versus like the wood bowls, wood turning like Lou does. That is definitely an art, and that definitely like artwork. He and Jason turn, and they produce some gorgeous pieces that I definitely would say is art, but it's also woodworking. You know what I mean? It's more of a craft, and I'm not saying craft like crafting. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Weigh in. All right. I'm going to, instead of continuing to block in some of these darker feathers and get that, I'm going to come up here because I just want to be able to, before we're done today, I want to be able to see, so you guys have an idea of where I'm headed, what he's going to look like. All right. So we're gonna go. I actually want light. He doesn't. No. He's not ready to. I don't think he's ready to be in that space yet. He watches your channel all the time. Like he's always watching when you put videos out. But no, he doesn't yet. His bowls are actually going to end up. He's finishing up a group of them now. I'm putting out just a little bit of the zinc white because I'm going to blend that to make a much brighter value for his head. So, yeah, he's finishing up a bunch of them now. And when the website launches with the shop, his stuff will be there. He will be part of Clark Fine. His bowls, his wood turning will be part of Clark Fine Art. As far as our businesses go, that will be covered, it'll be inclusive under card fine art. Yeah. Yes. Yes, he should. But I told him, like, we could set you up. All you could do is record the videos. And then, of course, you know who would have to edit those videos? Yes. Or I could teach him how. And then he could edit my videos. See, now we're thinking. Now we're thinking. Oh. Alright, so this is just a little bit of the zinc white in with the Buff Titan. And you're going to see me pulling from down below. And then I'm going to come back through. I'm going to do it again. Titan Buff. I said Buff Titan. I'm like, wait a minute. My brain kept going. That's, oh yeah, editing. Yeah, that's always so much fun. So much fun. Not at all. Right, Joseph? 13 hours of editing. I can't wait to see the video that took 13 hours to edit, Joseph. I am like really looking forward to that. And if anybody does not know, Joseph and Tara, both of my mods here on the channel, also have their own YouTube channels. Their links are in the description below. So after the stream, if you haven't already and you'd like to check out another artist, do check out their channels. Oh, you see that? You see it? Wait a minute, right there. Let me pause for just a moment because I wanted to. Yes, I did. So Kat's art picks. I'm gonna share it because I did love it, and I was gonna share it earlier, and then you weren't on yet. So I've just done a video about making cards for people, and I received this in the mail today. I think it actually did come yesterday, Cat's Art Picks. I think it actually did come yesterday. But it was, I have a small P.O. box. So anytime stuff that's larger comes, they'll put a tag in there and it'll get collected from the counter. Well, Lou was later than normal coming home from work yesterday. So he was not able to get into the post office until after the counter was it was still open, but the counter was closed, if you would. And so he went back over this morning to pick it up. I love it. Love it. I'm telling you guys, handmade cards, they're the best. They're the best. I thought so. I thought you did a great job. I loved the artwork. And I'm like, I say it all the time. Just make somebody a card. It'll make their day. So you said some takes make you cringe. I can't wait to see what this video is, Joseph. Part 2 is when you were working on. Yeah, I can't wait to see. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Alright, so here just mixing in a little bit of blue and very, very light on the blue. But I do want some, that's going to be more shadowed. Like he's going to have some up in here. There is not enough on here for sure. Not enough paint is what I was trying to say. That's what I was trying to get out. Not enough paint on this brush. And so here, I don't care. These brush strokes, I'm going to let them show. If some of this slate shows through, I'm not going to mind because that's just going to add to shadows and it's going to help make it look like they're feathers. So I'm just going to let the slate help me along. But I am definitely going to pay attention to which way the feathers will be laying. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, that's going to be something new. I love it. Joseph exploring new things. Or at least, maybe not. This may not be you exploring new things, but sharing new things with us that you have explored. How's that? All right. Let's give him a face. You're wise, old eagle. I don't know if he's old. I don't know how to tell the age of an eagle. He didn't share. Our eagle has a head. Now I'm going to go much darker underneath, because this would all be underneath his beak. Oh, that's right. He did do his It's been a while, hasn't it? That was an oldie but a goodie. You worked with plaster before. You did your sign. I'm going to definitely be interested to try these brushes again at the easel. Working straight out in front of me, which is definitely how I normally work. I do not normally work like this. In fact, I may, as I finish this, it'll probably be propped. I'll record it. I will definitely record the rest of this to be able to share it with you guys, as like a time lapse or something. It'll either be like a reel or, I don't know. It'll be a short video to bring you through the rest of the painting process. But this is definitely, I like the brushes. So these are the Simply Simmons brushes. Again, I have them linked below. I like the way that the paint flows off of them a lot. Yeah, I'm liking the way that they're performing. They're holding their edges when I need them to. Let's get some color. Oh, see, I mixed that color and it just dry. No spoilers. No spoilers. I have a spoiler. If you're a patron, there's actually a spoiler behind me for next month. So now the patrons will be like, what? Where? It's there. Okay, I'm going to need a little bit more. I think I need a little bit more of the zinc. Not much, because we're almost done for the day. I just want to get his beak in. I'm just going to finish his face right here, blocking it in. so that you can at least see the eagle. See all of him before we call it. So I did mention that the lighthouse print that you see behind me, that is a limited edition print. The link is in the description below. I believe Tara and Joseph have also been sharing links for my prints. In the chat during the stream. A little bit more orange. Brighten it up. Alright, we'll see. I can always adjust it, so it's not a big deal. That's the wonderful thing about acrylics. I definitely do miss that. Like, oh, I think this is going to be close enough. We'll test it. Oh, that wasn't. Well, in this case, just let it dry and paint over it. You can't make a mistake. You can't, like, you can make mistakes, sure. You can do something that you did not intend to do. But acrylic is so forgiving. You just come right in and fix it. And this beak, oh my goodness. The largest bird that we've had was a blue and gold macaw, which is like the largest of the macaws, and they're massive. Their wingspan is like 5-6 feet. It's huge. Beautiful birds. That is a hookbill I would not mess with. No. And the one that we were fostering and it had an attitude. Oh, it had an attitude. Its attitude was worse than I don't want to stereotype. I'm just going to say teenager in general. How about that? Like, I'm just going to say teenager. And for whatever reason, and we were fostering it, and she did not like women. Did not. If I walked past the cage, I mean, she would just like hiss and lunge, and they'd be like, okay. I would get in and clean the cage and do all of that stuff, and that was fine. If I was feeding, or like when it came time to do stuff like that, I would bring there was like a stand, so you could come out on the stand and get out of the cage. It wasn't locked up all the time. But when on that, you would just stay. Like, you wouldn't fly through the house or anything like that. So it would come out, and I could stand. Just go in there and stand. I mean, these things, you have to have a cage that's big enough for the bird to move around. And stretch its wings. Otherwise, I mean, that is just, anyhow, we won't get into all that stuff, but don't do that. So anyway, I could clean that thing for her, but she did not like women. And then Lou, she would go on him, and I'd be like, get that bird off of you. Like, if that bird decides all of a sudden that she's got an attitude, you don't know. She could have an eyeball in a second. Like, pluck it right out your head, because that hookbill, they are, I'm not trying to be graphic, folks, sorry. It's not for kids. Oh my goodness. But in all seriousness, though, they it's no joke. They're definitely got some power. So the Tuca has a hookbill, and he can get you well enough to he can draw blood. That's rare. He doesn't do that. I mean, he'll pinch and leave a mark. And that bill is definitely strong. But an eagle's, I'm not messing with that either. It's right up there with the macaw. I don't want to mess with that thing. I see how sharp, and like that point probably is like what I see in my reference photo. Like, it's Ugh, probably even more so. There's a lot of texture in this part of the slate right here, so it's making it difficult to get all the paint to lay down the way I want. Cool down. Yeah, we have like 59 degrees and raining here right now in the North Pole. I'm just waiting to see how early will the first flakes fly. It's been such a weird year. It's been such a weird year. It's 100% humidity here right now. It is raining. Thank you. I just want a softer yellow than the cad yellow. And it's actually going to be more orange than yellow. But again, yeah, see, that's much too bright. But he does have a highlight on the front of his beak. But this would be decent. Let me use that. Take that a step further. And I love this palette because even once this paint dries on here, I can spritz this with water or put it in the sink and fill the bottom with water. And it will loosen all the acrylic right off of it. And then that will allow me, I should have put my darker spot so I know where it's at. Just a second. That'll allow me to take all the acrylic. I can then drain. So what I'll do is I will loosen this in the sink. I'll put water in that. Like any paint that I don't save all of this fine stuff here, I'll put water in the bottom of it and let it set. All the acrylic will like loosen right up off the surface. And then I'll put a paper towel down on top of the drain of the sink. And then I'll pour it like, so it's right on the paper towel. So then all the water can go through, and then I'll let that dry. Like we have a rack in our sink. And I'll just you can let that sit and dry, and then you just take the paper towel and the hard dry acrylics and you can throw it in the trash so it's not going down the drain. And that's one way that I do that. I said I wanted to rinse that because I wanted the dark. I wanted the black spot in his eye. Yeah, it can be a challenge. It can be a challenge to work with sometimes when you're trying to get something that's smooth in one area, and all of a sudden you have this like bump of the slate that doesn't want to cooperate with you. And that is much darker than it'll end up being. It's going to be lighter than that. Okay, a little too much right there. In their yellow eyes. They're gorgeous. Yeah, we just started fall, so you just started spring, didn't you? Starving Artist Collective. Okay, I just saw. I'm not sure what that. I'm gonna have to look at the conversation, but I saw. I feel cold at. Was that George Pencilar said I feel cold at 74 now. I was just. I think I was talking to Tara the other day, and I was saying I was freezing, and it was like 64 degrees out, and I was like, yeah, I was freezing, but that's because I'm still, my body hasn't switched over to winter mode yet. Right now it's still in summer mode. Summer mode, 60 degrees is cold. I was like, but once it switches over to winter mode, see, winter mode can tolerate temps down to, negative degrees, then 60 is beautiful. So I was like, right now it's cold. Oh. All right. There is a lot of work left to do on this guy, and I will record what I do. I mean, I could just keep going and keep painting and keep painting and keep painting. He's going to be like this light color that's here. This is going to have his, like, when you start to see these guys, will start coming through. Form all of the shape of his feathers to the front. And then, of course, on his keel bone where this catches the light and comes forward. It's definitely, I mean, there's a ways to go here, but I am not going to be continuing with this next week because I won't have it anymore by next week. It will be gone. It will be gone by this weekend. So the next couple days I will be finishing this. So perhaps if I get it done in time, and if I have time to edit that video, perhaps I'll put that out Tuesday and show you guys it being finished. I'll just bring you through. So I'll record it while I continue to do all of that stuff. I'm just going to check the... Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. And they will. Like, they'll it's going to be snowing and they're still going to be wearing shorts. It's like, I'm freezing, but they're all going to be, because it was still summer and it's officially fall now. But yeah, we'll still have a few days, I'm sure, where it'll be nice and warm, but not long. It's going to get pretty chilly. Yeah. Oh, excellent. Thank you. Yeah, I will certainly. And pictures, yes, pictures will go up. So if you're not a member of the art group yet, I believe, yep, right there at the bottom center of your screen, those are the art groups. Please join the art group. We are both on MeWe and Facebook, so whichever you prefer to use, or join both. We'd love to have you in either place. I try to post things to both groups so that you're not missing something if you're not in both. But yeah, join us over there. I will post pictures of this in the art group for sure. Of course, if you follow me on Facebook, and I believe my Facebook links, oh, those are the art groups. So yeah, I don't know. But down below is information for our Patreon, which of course, if you are not a patron yet, if that is something that you might consider, this was one of the projects that I did this month over on Patreon. I am currently working on a project right now, and of course the art supply tier, you guys received for September, and anybody who signs up in September, you got the pad of the Canson XL. This is the dry media paper, and a dried half pan of the Fusions, the Nitrum liquid charcoal. So that came to this month, and anybody that signs up in September, you'll still get it. I will still send that out to you. I still have some pads left, so I can do that. I can't wait to share next month's supply with you. There's hints there, but that's going to be coming. So if Patreon is something that you might consider, we have a good time, and there's a tier that's right for you. regardless of what you like. If you want to paint along, there's a paint along. In fact, next Wednesday, the new paint along will be out. No, the eagle is not done. Oh no, this is definitely not done yet. No, not done yet at all. I've got a long ways to go. So I will be sharing. I will be sharing more of him over in the art group. So, and I will post it on my. If you follow Clark Fine Art on Facebook or you follow Clark Fine Art, my page on MeWe, I'll put it there as well. Soon, all of these things will also incorporate into the website. So, yeah. No matter what you'd like, if you just want to join a fun community, if you like to live stream and chat and have live chats, if you like to paint along, if you like to get new supplies like I do and explore them and play. Oh, thank you, Rob. See, that's Platinum tier. Now that is, and the names are going to be changing on the tiers soon, but the Platinum tier is the art supply sample tier. So that is the tier where I send you a brand new art supply sample every month for you to try and explore and see what you think. So that's all. I think that's all the things. So now once the replay is available, I will make sure that I put another link up for a video that you might like to watch. And thank you everybody for joining me. Thank you, patrons. Thanks for hanging out in the studio with me today. Thanks everybody who is still here hanging out. And, you know, keep exploring and keep creating. And I'm going to put another video up afterwards for the replay that you might like to watch. And it's going to be right about there. And, yeah, thanks for joining me, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Keep exploring and creating. And I will see you in another video real soon. Bye.